The grapevine says that Donald Trump is softening his attitude towards India. The latest set of his social media posts are conciliatory in tone, they are friendly in tone, which is a welcome change. Otherwise, he had let loose his attack dogs like Navarro onto India, who were being abusive day in, day out. Right? And in actual terms, 50% tariffs on India and Brazil. In the fond hope, perhaps, that these are the, as seen by, judged by America, the weakest links in the BRICS, and therefore if we put pressure on these, BRICS will cave in and India and Brazil will both, kowtow at the feet of the United States, and Modi will fly into Washington like the European leaders and beg pardon, etc., etc. I don't think that is the way it quite happened, it quite turned out. India had invested 30 years of diplomatic effort and energy, along with American diplomats, to restore the Indo-American partnership, friendship, strategic partnership. Post-Cold War, there was a concerted effort because our geopolitical interests had begun to coincide. The alignment of geopolitical interest was increasing by the day. Why? Because both the United States and India at one stage perceived a common threat from a rising, increasingly militaristic and hostile China. In fact, the whole of Asia was feeling the heat of China's rise, China's increasing maritime and military footprint in the IOR, Indo-Pacific, right? A rising profile of China which was getting worrisome. So to that extent, the geopolitical calculus was very simple. If America considered China as its primary threat, primary adversary, primary competition, it made eminent common sense that America should seek a strategic partnership with India and Japan. That is the only way it could achieve a balance of power in the Asia Pacific against China. To that extent, there were 30 years of effort to mend relations, and things were going up, up, up and up. Especially in Donald Trump 1.0, I mean, it was heartwarming the way this relationship was progressing. Anon came Joe Biden, and he pivoted back from Asia to Europe. He felt that not China but Russia is the main threat to the United States. And he decided that he would destroy the Russian economy by fighting a proxy war using Ukraine as a very willing proxy. So, the fact is there was a tilt back to Europe. And initially he told India, keep buying Russian oil, otherwise the prices of oil will rise. I have to face an election. I don't want inflation. So, I mean, India as it is, it suited India to the hilt to get oil cheaper. It helped our economy. Why should we not do it? Besides, Russia was a tried and tested friend. Period. Tried and tested friend. So we went along. We said, we have no problems with Russia. If you have, please solve them, resolve them with Russia. We can at best offer our good offices, if you please, if you want. But Biden turned implacably hostile. He tilted towards Pakistan. The tilt didn't start with Donald Trump. It is a tilt that started with Joe Biden. So when Donald Trump 2.0 came, as I have stated often, we were very hopeful that there would be a reset. And that very inimical lurch towards Pakistan and a very hostile stance towards India would be diluted, would be done away with. It looked good overall when Prime Minister Modi was one of the first leaders to reach Washington. and the vibes were very good. But within 7 months, there has been a about face. Has the deep state triumphed over Trump? Have they gotten the better of him? The simple fact is that Donald Trump has stood all geopolitical equations on their head. He's turned to a mercantilist orientation, and we could have lived with that. But that orientation, mercantilist or based on pure matrix of trade and tariff, that's all. Geopolitics be damned. National strategies, security strategies be damned. The only matrix of relationship will be trade and tariffs. So, where do we go from here? Now we are told that there are conciliatory atmospherics from Washington. That's a relief. To be God honest, that is a relief. Because we are not unduly keen to get into a war with the United States. It doesn't suit our national interest. We've invested a lot of domestic capital and energy in trying to have a modus vivendi, in trying to create a strategic partnership. But if this is going to be the outcome, what can we do? We have to safeguard our vital national interests. We can't disintegrate ourselves to please the United States. I think the United States has to understand. What we have to look at is, in the media there is a kind of a pendulum, a mood swing from elation to despair back to elation, right? I think those mood swings need to be controlled. What the government is doing is an excellent job. It is being shown a lot of gravitas. It is not descended to abuse, name calling and invective like Navarro's. We haven't mirrored that. And the government has shown lot of gravitas and equanimity in dealing with the situation. We have kept our cool despite the attack dogs being unleashed on us. What we have to look at is not so much rhetoric, not so much tweets. We have to look at solid outcomes on the ground. Has the 50% tariffs been removed? As of now, no. Is there movement towards that? Possibly, but we'll have to wait and watch. Has that new reset with Pakistan undergone any change? We'll have to wait and watch. The hostility of the Biden era towards India, has it undergone a change? We've just had the colored revolution in Nepal, induced by the CIA. Let's have no doubts. So let us, before we exult, let us wait for solid outcomes which are indicative of a change of heart. It cannot be just confined to atmospherics. Sweet talk was always there. Every time we went there, people gushed. India-America is the defining partnership of the 21st century, and yet 50% tariffs on India. Defining partnership, fine. 50% tariffs on us. Help Pakistan when the war starts. I mean, that's not very comforting. So, we would be optimistic. We would hope like hell that relations can still be restored to their natural warmth which exists between the people of the United States and India. The people-to-people relationship couldn't be better till now. Couldn't be better. We are democracies, sister democracies. We have shared values, shared concerns. But now, I think we'll have to await the next move by United States and Donald Trump. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.